Hello, everyone. I'm Dan.
And I'm Riley.
And welcome to the next episode of That One Podcast.
Today, we are joined by Dr. Chris McDaniel, who is from Tipton Chiropractic and Wellness, who recently took over for Dr. Richter, who has been a staple in the Tipton community for over 30 years. So it's been now a month since Dr. Chris took over, and he shares what it's been like over the past few weeks and what patients can expect in continuing care moving forward.
All right, let's get into the next episode.
All right, Chris, thank you for joining me on that one podcast. We're excited to talk about Tipton Chiropractic, and it's undergone a change in the recent weeks. So here to introduce you to the Tipton community and let everybody know what you're all about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here. It's a really, really unique, neat community, and it's been cool to get to know people better and be more incorporated with it. So yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Well, let's start there. For anyone who missed the news, what changed at Tipton Chiropractic and Wellness?
So Dr. Richter has had Richter Chiropractic for 34 years now. And after meeting with him, he decided to retire, and I'll be taking over the business. Richter Chiropractic's just being rebranded to Tipton Chiropractic and Wellness. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of changes that have taken place.
Nice. And so you've had a quote unquote official opening, it didn't actually close for any time.
Right.
But what did that look like for you in terms of, were there any immediate changes to hours, teams, services, systems? Coming in and purchasing a business, there can be a lot of change, but I think your vision is to keep it going as is for the time being.
Absolutely. So Dr. Richter has a well-oiled machine, a lot of patients that trust him in the community, and he treats everybody like family to him. Mm-hmm. So it's not so much an issue from a patient incorporation standpoint, but just logistical, day-to-day, learning the schedule, trying to keep everything the same, but integrate the paper into more of a digital sense so that it's not so much paper filings, email reminders, text reminders. That way we can hopefully incorporate insurance as flawlessly as possible as well. So from a day-to-day standpoint, it shouldn't be any different for patients. I've added in Wednesday hours, Saturday mornings maintaining as well. So 6 days of coverage in the office. Other than that, no big changes for patients, just things behind the scenes.
Nice. So you talk about digitizing the business. Can you kind of preview what that looks like for patients, instead of it just being all paper?
Right. So incorporating a online EHR system or electronic health record will allow it so we have access to records. So patients can access their records online, whether they need it for a specialist or for their primary, helps with that communication. It'll also allow us to send out reminders. So that way patients don't forget about appointments if they make them in advance, or if we have any type of specials going on, we can send those out. Then it makes it nice and easy. So we can incorporate the insurance as well, which needs to be done in a digital manner.
Yeah.
So that way it's a lot of availability for patients and giving them more options.
Yeah, so you talk about the insurance piece of it, and I've personally worked with some chiropractors for my other business, but insurance is not always something that covers chiropractic care. Can you talk about that and what your hope is to introduce the insurance?
So as far as chiropractic as a whole, I think people forget chiropractic's only been around for a little bit over 100 years. Mm-hmm. It's relatively new to the healthcare and medical space. So insurances every year is getting more and more towards wanting conservative options. They don't want patients to have injections and surgeries. They want conservative options to be mainline primary care. Yeah. In doing so, acceptance for insurance has opened up a lot. Most insurances now cover to some capacity. There may be limits on how much they cover or how many visits, but the compliance specialist that I've been working with says that we should be a network for United Healthcare, Cigna, Medicare, Medicaid, Healthy Blue. There's a few others I'm missing, but pretty much every major commercial, and then Medicare and Medicaid as well. Yeah. So hopefully that's changing and it's becoming more accessible to more people. And with the new changes in insurance, I hope to make it even more so.
Yeah. So maybe shifting towards, a little lesser cost for preventative work and things like that, instead of waiting until something gets to the extreme where it requires surgery or
right. Well,
injections.
Think about it. It's if your car, the check engine light came on, you'd take it to the mechanic, they'd diagnose the problem, and they'd fix it. A lot of times what we do with Tylenol or even cortisone injections is check engine light comes on and we put a Band-Aid over it, or a sticker over the light, just keep driving the car. Well, of course, it's going to break down and lead to more issues. And insurance is seeing that as well and saying, well, if we can be more preventative and stop those things before they become more of a problem, it only wins for everybody. Yeah. So dealing with that is obviously a logistical process, but it's going to be better for patients and getting more accessibility so they don't have to go to those things as a primary option.
Yeah. So for the current patients who have been with Dr. Richter, is there anything that they need to know about continuity or transition of care or anything like that?
Sure. So the biggest questions that I'm getting is hours. So we're still open from 9 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday, with the addition of the Wednesday hours, Saturday 9 to noon. So we still have some early options on a Saturday morning. And then as far as treatment goes, I don't change anything. I still believe in old school hands-on manipulative treatment and utilize that with all patients. Obviously, modifying soft tissues is needed. I treated a 2-month-old baby this past week, so obviously need to modify forces. Still use the stem units and the heat packs as Dr. Richter did, and cost has not changed. So I'm still $30 a treatment, just as he was, just to make sure, again, it's as accessible as possible to the community.
Nice.
So no changes there. Only hopefully get better with insurance too.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've kind of covered, the transition of care. Let's talk about you more specifically.
Sure.
Give us your quick backstory, your path into chiropractic, and the moment you really knew that this is what you wanted to do.
Right, absolutely. So my first exposure to chiropractic care came whenever I went to my primary, who said that I had back pain after playing baseball in school. They said, I'm not sure what to do. I went to the chiropractor, and he said, after a few questions, actually, I don't think this is your back at all. It's your kidneys. Wow. I was like, what's going on here? So I went to the hospital, and I had kidney stones in my back that were actually causing my pain.
Wow.
But it made me, stop and think, well, he didn't just start throwing things at this. He thought about it. He was just like diagnosing a car. He was a mechanic to my body. And he said, well, this makes sense that it could be something else. So that's what really got me thinking and wanting to pursue a career of not only helping people, but finding the problems and fixing those problems versus just putting Band-Aids on top of it and temporary relief.
Yeah.
And through that process, I went to school in Kentucky, where I'm from. And then I spent the last decade in St. Louis at a large wellness facility, working there and treating patients from just a holistic standpoint. And that's what's brought me to Tipton, is to bring that same level of care here in the community, so patients aren't having to travel elsewhere and can make sure they're able to function and feel as good as possible.
Yeah. And we were talking before this about, you wanted to get back to that small town.
Right.
What does that mean to you, and why is that such a draw for you versus, going to even just down the road? I don't know if you've been much to Hamilton County and things like that, but way different in terms of
contrast.
Quite
the dichotomy.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in rural Kentucky, just south of Bowling Green, between there and Nashville. So it was a community where you knew your neighbor. So you went to the store and people there, and that's exactly what you have here. And I love taking care of generations. We'll treat patients, and you'll see their granddaughter, and you'll see the sister and the husband and the brother, and that's such a cool thing to be able to put those connections together. Makes it feel like you're not just taking care of patients, but you're treating people. Yeah. You're having a different level of impact in the community, and that's far more than it would be living somewhere else and treating more people. I'd rather take care of people.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling to get to actually know your patients, and that this grandma, her son's playing baseball for the Tipton High School right now. And you can chat about that.
Yeah.
Like you just don't get that in bigger cities as much, which is cool.
Right.
So for those who maybe don't know exactly what chiropractic care is, could you define it in 30 seconds or so?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially the brain is encased in bone, which is the most important system in the body that makes up the nervous system. So the brain sends a signal down the spine, and then the spine sends signals out via those nerves that goes to every cell, muscle, tissue, organ in your body. So the bones that sit around the spine and protect it can slide out of place, which puts pressure on that system. It's like you're running a hose and you step on it. We tend to forget that only about 10 to 15% of a nerve fiber is for pain. The rest of it's for overall function of organ health, digestion, and everything else that your body does.
Yeah.
Once it dips into pain, it's your body's alarm system going off saying something's wrong here, and that's where those bones put pressure on your system and on the nerves. So my job is to come in, identify where those are, correct those misalignments in the spine, and make sure that everything's functioning, take pressure off that hose so your body can feel as good as it can.
Yeah. And so what type of techniques do you use the most? And how do you, when a new patient comes in, how do you determine which techniques work best and kind of diagnose that care for people?
Absolutely. So the first thing is just talking to the patient. You know your body better than I do. So hearing about what's going on, getting a bit of a history there, and then we can move through an exam where we can feel how your body's moving, feel where those different locations in your spine might be so that we can get them corrected. From there, just feeling along the body and seeing each age, body, demographic, everybody's going to be a little bit different, and I can make the best decision as far as what technique will be best for each person.
Awesome. So beyond just you're stopping in for your adjustment, how do you incorporate, the mobility, strength, sleep, overall just wellness into when you're talking with patients? It's not just come in, get adjusted, and then go back and have a terrible lifestyle and come back in a couple of weeks for another adjustment. How do you incorporate everything?
Exactly. It's important to take care of your own body and take ownership of what you can do. Diet's a component of that. And anytime a patient's interested in talking more about that, whether it's from an inflammatory standpoint or from a weight loss standpoint, helping guide them with any nutritional information is always important. Corrective stretches and exercises can always be good. That allows for day-to-day things that you're doing at your desk or, out on the farm or whatever you may be doing, so you can help prevent some of these injuries from taking place. I love seeing my patients, but I don't want to see them any more than we have to.
Yeah.
Rather see them out at dinner than in the office.
Yeah.
So always recommending exercises as possible.
So I've been down the road of like TikTok chiropractors before, and there's a lot of misconceptions out there. Is there one that you come in not contact with, but that you hear about a lot that you want to put the truth to or dispel or anything?
Yeah, there's several. I would say the one that's most important to me is the safety of it. We wouldn't be able to have a license and a degree. We wouldn't be considered chiropractic physicians by the state if we weren't doing something that was safe and beneficial for people. Our malpractice insurance is a fraction of anything else in the healthcare system, and it's just due to the lack of problems and injuries associated with it.
Yeah.
Something that I've found that's important to this community specifically is the accessibility of the care from you don't know how busy your schedule is going to be. It's hard to plan out. Try to make it to where everybody can get in same day for appointments, because that is something that, I can't come in multiple times a week. My schedule's crazy. I can't commit to anything. I get that. My life, it can be that way at times too. Yeah. Don't worry about that. It's easy to come in. Appointments don't last very long. Just gets you feeling better. So it doesn't have to be a long, complicated process to get feeling better.
Yeah. So let's talk about that process a little more for somebody who's maybe on deciding of, hey, should I go see a chiropractor? Sure. Well, walk us through that first visit in terms of assessment, imaging, education, treatment, and plan. What would it look like when you first come in?
So a patient comes in, fill out a small bit of paperwork. We'll get all your information into the system. Then we'll go through a health history where we'll talk about what's been going on, how long it's been bothering you, how it's affecting things. Then we can do a physical assessment. If any imaging is necessary, then I can order that as needed. Other than that, if it's safe and we're able to treat, then we'll do a spinal assessment and go through the treatment process, making sure that each patient's dealt with whatever they have going on and modifying treatment as appropriate, and then go from there.
Yeah. And somebody coming in for the first time, what should they bring with them, or any information or things like that? Really
nothing that's needed. We try to make it as simple as possible. Come in, like I said, fill out the forms to get you treated, and it's $30 on the way out. So it's try to make it as simple as possible. Doesn't need to be a complicated, stressful process.
Yeah. I'm assuming it might get a little more complicated once the healthcare aspect gets involved. Is there any timeline? I know you can't necessarily, it's up to the insurance companies, but is there any timeline that you're at least hoping for to start implementing the
So they're hoping to have everything ready to go in the next month.
Wow.
From an insurance standpoint. At that time, we just need insurance cards to be brought in with a government ID so we can submit to insurance. But we'll be putting out notifications whenever the time comes for that.
Awesome.
But still hope to make it a pretty easy process.
Yeah, and one quick thing, circling back to the digitizing thing, is there anything that current patients need to do to start receiving the updates or things like that? Or is it kind of you guys are handling that all and just...
We'll all be handling that in-house. There shouldn't be any changes for patients on that end. Just to address any concerns, if you don't want things digitized, we don't have to digitize. It's only an option. I still have all the old paper records from Dr. Richter, so everything's there. We haven't lost anything. Just trying moving forward to have a good blend of both.
Does he have records going back to the very beginning?
We have records back 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
incredible.
I got all the records. It's all paper. So anybody who hasn't come in a while, we still have your records.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, taking over a new practice, you come from working at a wellness facility to now owning your own practice. What does the next 6 to 12 months look like for you? Obviously, we've talked about we don't want to do a lot of change and we don't want to make it a new process for patients or anything like that. But are there any long-term goals or even short-term in the next few months that you kind of want to implement?
Yeah. Over the next, 6 months, I really want to make sure a firm foundation's been set up for Tipton Chiropractic. My LLC is Tipton Chiropractic and Wellness. So then I'd like to get into more of the wellness space. Wellness meaning spinal decompression, knee decompression, machines that can open up different types of joints. Chiropractic in and of itself is a fantastic tool, but it's just that it's a tool. It can't fix everything. So it's, I think, important to incorporate other things as we can to help complement chiropractic care.
Yeah.
We'll also be having a nurse practitioner start in the office. She'll be helping out with some other types of nutritional IVs and maybe even some other types of medical services just to help promote a better overall sense of health and well-being.
Yeah. So you've been in it, I think you said a month today.
A month today,
as we're recording this on Monday and it comes out on Wednesday. But, what's the biggest lesson learned so far in 1 month of owning the practice?
I would say the biggest thing is just patience. Nothing good comes overnight. It takes time. You can't plant a tree and expect to get fruit the same day. Just making sure that you're trusting the process and allowing yourself to feel all the different moments of highs, lows, and everything in between.
Yeah.
I think that's super important.
Awesome. So you currently living in Elwood.
Yeah.
I spend most of your time in Tipton, obviously.
Yep, definitely.
What's your favorite place to hit up or unwind after a day or even get your coffee in Tipton?
A lot of good options. A lot of good options. Over by us, you've got East Street and Quick Cups right there in the shack, and I frequent Get and Go as well. Got to hit them all, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But no, there's a lot of good places to hit up and good food all around. So it's.
Are you a coffee guy?
I'm more of a Diet Coke fan.
Okay. So asking what your favorite coffee is would not make sense.
No,
there.
well, you'll see me with a styrofoam cup in my hand.
Nice.
Yeah.
So a couple of quick hits here to wrap up. What's one posture tip that people can start using today?
Sure. Everybody needs better posture, right? Myself included. So as we're sitting here, both our shoulders round forward, we start to lose that normal curve in the neck, which causes this posture right here, and you put a lot of pressure through here. So instead of bringing your shoulders back, you can actually just bring your chin backwards. Make a double chin, like you're making a turkey. Nice and fun, but that'll help bring the shoulders back, but also move those bones and keep them less likely to lock up.
Interesting. And we're sitting here in that posture, but I've seen a lot about, over the past, 15 years with the invention of not the invention of cell phones, but cell phones being so prominent now.
Sure.
Is there something to say about people always looking down at their phones?
There is, and I'm not immune to it either, but head comes forward, shoulders round. Instead of having that nice smooth curve, everything goes straight up and down, and you put pressure straight, and then you start to increase weight as that changes its position, and it does. Text neck is very real.
Wow. Is that the official term for it?
Text neck's what they're calling it. Wow. It's essentially just cervical changes, but it's definitely a different generation, that's for sure.
Yeah. And we'll wrap up with another posture tip or stretching tip. What's go-to stretch for people who are sitting at a desk all day, right? Because that sitting there for 8-9 hours at a desk and in an uncomfortable chair can put a huge strain on your
Sure
body.
can. I would say first and foremost, checking your ergonomics and making sure that you do have good lumbar support. Taking breaks, even if you're a desk worker, make sure once an hour you're getting up just to move around. Motion is lotion to the body, and if you don't put any in there, it's definitely going to just break down. While you're sitting at your desk, though, you want to emphasize keeping your stomach out as you breathe and not just hunching. As you hunch, you're more likely to build up pressure on the lumbar discs. So as you sit back and you breathe out and push your stomach out, that can help to correct and maintain the normal curve in your lumbar spine.
Awesome.
So it's easier said than done, and I'm not perfect either, but it's a good thing to try to do.
Yeah, I like that phrase, motion is lotion.
Oh,
for your
yeah.
body. That's a good one.
Absolutely.
All right. So just to wrap things up, give one more plug, hours, location for Tipton Chiropractic and Wellness.
Yeah, so we're located at 120 Northeast Street, right across the street from East Street Provisions, behind the Get and Go or the old Rickers. We're there Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday mornings from 9 to noon. Just give us a call anytime. Our phone number is 765-675-3755. We'll get you in same day and get you feeling better and functioning like you need to.
Nice. You nailed it. That's a lot of information to memorize within a month and be put on the spot to
I'm trying to make
address,
it happen.
phone number. Yeah. Nice job. Well, Chris, thank you so much
you
for
so much
joining
for
us.
having
We
me.
appreciate it. And, if you're looking for chiropractic care, definitely hit up Chris and his team.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.